have you quoted saying, I think there's a spectrum of things that can be seen as activism, and they're all important. I'd argue that art falls under that umbrella. I'm using my platform to influence changing minds regarding social issues. Sure. Am I doing work to help influence and change things on a policy level? Not really. And I think you're dabbling in policy change right now.
Yeah, I feel like from the first time when we talked about this till now, like maybe I don't know if like my perspective has necessarily changed. I think that like there's like more nuance to the answer to this. And like I'll give you like the perfect example is like even with this story right here, after it published, I had 2 lawmakers reach out.
Wow.
One from the Davidson that represents the Davidson County for North Carolina. Beth.
Yeah, Beth Helfrich. Yeah.
Beth Helfrich.
Friend of the holler.
Yeah.
Beth.
Shout out to Beth.
Shout out to Beth, who's amazing, by the way. I met Beth during the election season because I covered her in her race because she was one of the races that was going to help
break
that's
so dope.
Yeah,
that's really cool. The supermajority.
Yeah, she flipped it.
Yes. And I just saw her yesterday. I saw her yesterday at she came to the Moms Demand Action rally in Raleigh. But so like Beth reaches out and like folks are reaching out because they want to like do something, right? They want to help, even in a very helpless situation. And this is like to the point of like the nuance is like, like I feel like these stories, I think I said this last time, can get people and move people to do something and take action. Even lawmakers, right? In this instance. But I think maybe like part of my answer last time, which was like, I don't really think like it's gonna like photography affects like
you're not moving the needle.
I'm not moving the needle on policy is because like I think part of it is just like my own personal experience with just like policy in America and the fact that like shit never moves in the direction that it should.
Nothing
be
moves.
I mean, there's some jadedness. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, so I'm jaded, to it. But yeah, I think overall, like, photography is extremely powerful. Like it, just like in the story, it can teleport you to someone else's world. Like we were in the Zambrano's family's home, right? And we had never met, people had never met them before, but it felt like you were there and you know a little bit about them. And then people want to like, all right, what can I do to help? But yeah, when it comes to like actually getting shit done on a policy level, like even now, it's like we got a freaking Supreme Court decision on not deporting people under Aliens Enemy Act.
Yeah, we were just talking about like Abrego Garcia. We were just talking about that, right? Like they had like a unanimous like gotta bring him back.
Gotta bring him back. But then we have an administration that's like, fuck that, we ain't bringing them back. We ain't doing it. And so it's like, I don't know what else, I feel like in my world, it's like the photo can bring awareness and attention, but it's like,
but I think what you're saying is like if the U.S. Supreme Court isn't bringing this guy back,
it's like this photo definitely ain't bringing this guy back.
I think that's fair.
I mean, I think it's fair to think, but I go back to one of our Substacks we wrote. Well, our boy Milo Baines wrote. I mean, it's like listening to that devil on your shoulder to the same point of like these protests or calling your senators or your representatives. Like you do all this stuff, but you feel like nothing moves. Like you can't listen to it because I think your photography is, I don't want to say it's a protest, but it adds pressure. That's why we protest. That's why we call. That's why we continue to move, because the more pressure that is put on it changes policy. And, we did talk about this on the first try, and you were definitely more skeptical about it. I'm glad to see you're opening up a little more, and it took a representative calling you. Guys like, oh, now it might be. But that's what it did, right? Like you kept on putting it out there, and now you got legislators looking at like, how can we do this? So I think whatever year you said that, Cornell would go back to the future and be like, you know what, I might be. Keep doing what you're doing. Even if you don't think it is, I want to believe it is, and I'm going to show your photography to people to put pressure to move policy.
Yeah. and I think I don't know if we talked about this last time either, but like I think part of it too is
man, they missed out on last time.
Sorry, y'all.
Had a deep one. Is that like it's for me like the photo feels minuscule in comparison to the work that actual people are doing on the ground. You know, not saying that like I'm not doing any work on the ground by being there, but like organizers and folks who are like living and breathing and in the trenches of this stuff are really the ones that are moving the needle on this.
I relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way sometimes with the podcast. And we get a lot of really great messages from people who admire what we're doing and say really nice things to us.
Like we eat bananas for the shape.
Just like that one. Corn on the cob the long way.
Yeah.
Soy boy. But we get a lot of nice messages, a lot of, very affirming messages, a lot of gratitude. But I'm kind of with you where, like, I'm not the social worker, right? I'm not the first responder. I'm not the person, organizing the vigil, right, or whatever it is. And so there is kind of a feeling of, like, I actually don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah, it's like the person that I want you to give this gratitude and praise to is that person that I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, or, the person that is down at Raleigh every single day in the gallery, you know, protesting lawmakers or knocking on doors.
Absolutely.
Like that is the person that I want you to give all that praise. Like what I do is like nothing compared to like what they're doing. And I think that's like part of like my reflection on this question about like, okay, like, does photo have, yes, it has power, but like those folks.
I think we all play a role.
We all play a role.
Yeah, I think photo, content creation, all these things, like ultimately what it is that we're trying to do is help shape a narrative. I would say reveal a narrative.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I'm shaping anything. I feel like I'm telling people like, no, this is what's happening.
Yeah, just
right?
think it's awareness.
It's awareness, right?
And and I was gonna say in the other part of this conversation about photo is like this is also like you can't not tie this into journalism,
right?
Like it is a part of journalism, and this is why we have that part of the Constitution related to the free press is because the press becomes like a check on things, and it is a part of the equation for the country and democracy.
That's why it's under attack right now.
Yeah, and so it's important because it tells a truth.